This technique is called leap from death. Leap from death is against a right step through punch, and that's the textbook version. I will show you a slightly different approach to this from a different style attack on Sensei Gabe once we walk through it. So the oncoming strike is a right step through punch. What I'm going to do is I'm going to step back with my right leg, absorbing this oncoming punch a bit. I'm going to take my right arm, and I'm going to use an upward style blocking motion as I do kind of an upward style block against that punch. And then I'm going to turn my arm at this right time, okay, using timing, and catch the wrist as I shift from this neutral position into a basically reverse bow here and snap the arm. From that reverse bow position, I'm going to go into my forward bow as I see the floating ribs there as a target, and I smack the floating ribs with a back fist, hopefully snapping one of those ribs. Most importantly, it's the reaction that the rib strike causes. As the person reacts, they move kind of forward and down. So I take advantage of that position that I've just put my opponent in by taking my left forearm and even a part of the hand and placing it, shifting from that forward bow back into a reverse bow or opposite direction forward bow, and throwing the person down to the ground from that reaction of the rib shot. Once they're down to the ground, I'm going to need the camera to come on over here and catch this part. I'm going to jump onto the person's back, catching and slicing into the kidneys, the right and left kidneys, side of their back, with my two heels as I land. Once I land on those kidneys and kind of rake my heels on, we're expecting a reaction as the person kind of pops their head up, which I'm going to meet with a double heel palm strike. And as like a basketball on the ground, I'm expecting the head to bounce back, where I catch it and I shift into a tiger stance, bringing a concave position with my knees, catching the head and snapping the back as I straighten out my posture. I take my right to the face and my left to the back of the head, and I snap the neck and then drive my Shudo strike to the bridge of the nose. From that position there, I'm going to shift my closed kneel stance to another closed kneel stance as I smash the head back down with a heel palm strike. I'm going to bounce off of that heel palm strike, taking my left leg to the other side of the body, and then taking a looping downward roundhouse kick to finish him off. Cross out, step back, on guard. So that's the technique. I'm going to go right on into this with Sensei Gabe. A lot easier to envision these moves on someone. So textbook is against the punch. As the punch is slowly coming in, I'm stepping back, creating the distance away from the punch. I'm then forming my upward blocking motion with my right hand, kind of almost like a natural flinch reaction. As I catch, I happen to catch the wrist, continuing borrowing his energy. I snap the elbow up with a heel palm, shifting from a reverse bow back into a forward bow, and striking into the ribs. Now, as you notice, as I strike to the ribs, we're assuming that the body starts to shift forward from that, and I'm going to go ahead and take advantage of that reaction by placing my forearm on the backside of his tricep and almost like into the joint there. You can then grab a hold of the shoulder if you'd like for a little more support. Notice how close I have his arm. I don't want to play out here. I want to attach my torso's weight to the body of my aggressor. So now I'm going to shift into another forward bow facing the opposite direction as I throw him down the ground. Now it comes the leap, okay, from death. As I leap, I land and I skip onto the side of his body where the kidneys are. So as he reacts from that, I shoot my double heel palms down, his head bounces back up, where I catch. I concave the knees into a tiger stance, catching the side of the spine here and the shoulder blades, and then I would straighten up and then snap the neck as I create better posture in my body. From here, my left goes to the other side of his head, I snap the neck, and then I drive the Shudo to the bridge of the nose. See how I'm still pinning with my right knee. Now I shift from another into another closed kneel as I shift back down and heel palm the back of the head. Left leg will step off the line as I roundhouse kick, cross out, step back on guard. Okay? We'll take a look at that from one more angle. This one, I'm going to have Sensei Gabe grab a hold of me this time, just to give you guys a different variation of the attack that this could fit into. If he was to cross grab me, I can take advantage of this grab in the same fashion, the same technique. So as he's grabbing, I go with it, and I catch the elbow here. Then I shift forward and hit him with the back fist, and then continue the technique as grip. I slam him down to the ground, I jump, strike, catch, break, snap, strike, heel palm, roundhouse kick. So that's leap from death. A couple of different ways to take a look at it. Good luck.